Howdy, folks. Hello, hello. Another game. USSR. Not a bad start. If I can ditch CIA before I commit DEFCON suicide, let's hope he doesn't have Fidel. Anyway, I'll open 441. Then we'll look at our hand. So yes, we're nearly at the million. Let's see what happens. Will Play Deck just bump it to 7 figures? Will they start doing Hex? Or will the entire platform burn to a cinder? Shame I didn't get US intervention. UN intervention. US intervention would be something totally different. Let's plug in our hand. 5-year. Warsaw. CIA. US. Marshall. NATO. I am super ops rich. All of them come at a cost. Special relationship. Indo-Pakistani war. No scorers. What's our headline? Wow. Yes. So. So is he going to open 433, which would indicate socialist governments? No. 442. Right, okay. So what's our option? We've got turn 1 coup NATO. I can't event Warsaw Pact without triggering NATO, which also triggers special relationships. So I kind of want a space Marshall Plan. So Indo-Pakistani war is our headline card. And we end up ops warring over Iran. But I don't have Suez or Arab-Israeli war to clear out Iran. So that's boring. Holding 5-year plan is another good option for unsympathetic scorers. I feel like CIA right at the beginning of the turn offers too much. So Indo-Pakistani war is a fairly bland opener, but then it forces me to go to Iran. So I'll do that. And it gets defected anyway, so I end up revealing the information without getting any of the benefit. But at least I know I'm not going to get defected on turn 2. Initial coup just invites a recoup, which I may have to do with Warsaw, so I don't give up US-Japan too cheap. But I do want to make sure I secure Iran, now that I've basically indicated that Pakistan's a giveaway. So let's see how his coup goes. Quite well. So if I coup and roll a 1, he stays in there. So there's a 1 in 6 chance of disaster. Versus a guaranteed clear out of Iran in exchange for Japan, which then invites the taking of South Korea. So we're going to avoid that and take the 1 in 6 disaster route. And we don't get a 1 in 6 disaster, but we did the numbers. We did the monster math. Happy Chinese New Year for yesterday. And happy Burns night for tonight, for those eating haggis. There's another game pretty much straight after this, so I'll upload this one, and then a couple of hours later I'm playing Z. This is the Reddit Twilight Struggle League 2020A, organised by Shaq, not to be confused with the International Twilight Struggle League, organised by Baskmex, which I'm also uploading videos for. But I suspect most of you aren't following my league progress in either of these, because it would be very weird to have a cheering section like that. So I assume you're watching it just to watch what a complete idiot I can be, which is by far a smarter reason. We're not going to put anything in. Oh no, we'll put one into Yugoslavia so that if we get Truman, we still have access to Italy, because independent Reds into Yugoslavia is not really that spectacular. So we'll do that, and we'll see what he does with his AWPs. Okay, so US Japan to take South Korea. Special relationship to move somewhere else. Yeah, so covers the Middle East as well. That's fine. We're gonna move to. Are we gonna move to space first, or are we not even gonna space this round? No, we're gonna assume neutrality. We're gonna swap US Japan for Korea. So if he pushes into Libya, I'll use special relationship to take Iraq. I suppose we are moving to space this turn if I'm holding a 5-year plan, because I'm not eventing Marshall Plan. So he spaces decol and gets away first, and fails, which does make it more appealing to space Marshall Plan. Although we've not seen you in intervention yet. So no, we're gonna space it and we're gonna hope to get a good roll. We do. Hindsight makes me look like an absolute genius, and for that I am thankful. So what do we have to watch out for? If he events Fidel now, which he hasn't. Eventing Fidel would obviously mean I have to use the China card to avoid DEFCON suiciding. But we will. We will event it now. He can look at both of those cards, and he'll know I can hold a 5-year plan to discard an unsympathetic scoring card. And special relationship obviously isn't spectacular. He may put 2 in France, which would be canny. So what do we want? Vietnam revolts as a cheeky domination headline. For Asia Dom. And 5-year plan away Europe, which is likely to be our least sympathetic scorer. But we'll see. CIA's gone, Olympic Games drops. So he's starting the Relentless March. And we will pop in there in a bid to try and flip. So De Gaulle duck and cover. Duck and cover into India. NASA duck and cover, all viable. Or he may drop DEFCON automatically himself anyway. But we'll see. So AR6, I expect to see him move into Burma. Oh, I get Vietnam revolts. So... and that's level on country count. So he chose to protect Costa Rica instead. So I got Asia scoring, so I can do shenanigans with duck and cover. Although, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm unlikely to be able to race for country count. Blockade's good to get out D-style. So, what's my play? I can do an intervention coup and space, duck and cover, or NORAD. But then I don't get to keep 5-year plan. Captured Nazi I want to save for a failed space attempt to the 2VP square. So let's plug my hand in, have a look at it, and have a think. Suez isn't great at the moment. It could be better. It may soon be better. NORAD. Blockade's not a bad headline, because obviously if he's got a blockade UN, captured Nazi, 111, 333, 3 Asia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What card am I missing? NORAD, no. Duck and cover. Blockade's not terrible because obviously if he's got D-style, he's got D-style and he has to ditch it one way or another. Captured Nazi's not a great headline. Duck and cover's not a great headline. So we'll blockade away. He's containing, so he's going to be ops rich this turn. He can now chuck away a 2 card, but that doesn't fix the situation that he has to punt D-style at some point this turn. And he so does. So we will commence by cooing with... It doesn't really... Oh, it means I'm going to lose duck and cover. 5-year plan, but that's fine. Most of the areas are fine scorers, and I can use Suez. No, we're cool. I want my mill ops, and I can move into India if I wanted to. So there's still time to put right on that. So let's coup Egypt. It's terrible. If he moves to Burma, we'll move to India, because we know Indo-Pakistani war's gone. And we'll at least get a couple of VP from Asia. We could choose to deploy the China card to make Asia more competitive. If he moves to Libya and not Burma, we can also take Iraq. But we'll see where he goes. Where he goes may well dictate what he thinks. So yeah, he wants domination in all of the areas. So we'll first take Iraq, Saudi, and see if he presses Iraq. And we'll see how ops rich he is this turn. But he's kind of signalling that he's concerned about Asia. Middle East. Doesn't signal he's concerned about Asia at all. So this looks like it'll be an event and take situation. But he doesn't get domination. So the question is, do we do something like that? Or something like that? Or something like that. Or do we start by spacing NORAD? Which fails. So we'll event captured Nazi. will drop Asia scoring. Although if he doesn't drop Europe scoring, I suppose holding 5-year plan is the stronger move to ditch it turn 3, if dealt. I need a good reason to ditch the China card, basically. That's the big concern. Here's Fidel. So he starts pushing into Africa, which is fine. I'll be able to get a coup on it next turn, probably. So how aggressive am I is the question. Let's press and hold 5-year plan. I expect just to see a neutralization of Asia here. But I've just netted another VP at least. So it looks like he's been dealt no 4-up cards so far, which is a bummer for him. So we've still got the neutral 4s to come out. I mean, it's a fairly neutral play just to take Malaysia, Indonesia, or Philippines, Indonesia to level up country count in Asia. So there's one of the 4-ups. He'll level up. Yeah, fine. Can't really be helped. But he wasted NOP. So that's not so bad for me. We will drop Asia scoring for a measly 2 VP. And we're going to hold on to 5-year plan because it looks like he's not getting off Asia scoring. And so we'll event captured Nazi. So we're going to hold 5-year against Europe and or Middle East. So the last reshuffle is mostly red. Formosa, Truman, Euro-Middle East scoring, Purge, Socialist governments, Arab-Israeli, Korean War, Cambridge 5. So I'd really like to be dealt Purge. It would be problematic with this board state to be purged as well. So he may go Saharan states, Nigeria here to spear on Africa control early. And if he does, kudos. He's developed well in Europe and he's developed well in the Middle East. Let's see what his last card is. It's Truma. Yeah, so he does push in. Right, I get Europe scoring so I can 5-year plan it, which means I can't use an intervention something. On the other hand, I can use Suez to take France, albeit sacrificing the coup. So we will, because we have a coup target as well, we're going to event Suez and hope to threaten Europe. So he got Middle East. I got Formosa. And Arab-Israeli. He got Socialist Korea, Cambridge 5, unless I totally missed one of those things. So I got Suez and Warsaw back. And he headlines Middle Eastern scoring and drops it for nothing. Ouch. Yeah, we'll do that because we've got Arab-Israeli war as well. So purge. And I got you an intervention back. So he has to respond. So now we can do an intervention 5-year plan to get the full 3 ops. And event Arab-Israeli war for our mill ops. He's going to... So yeah, level up country count he's going for. So we will tap Turkey, and we'll just keep the pressure on. Not too worried about Formosa, and I've got the China card back. And I'm 4 up. He would need to flip and then take Taiwan to go up 4-3 without the China card. We might have a rare occasion where I event Warsaw Pact to claim Austria and Yugoslavia. Independent Reds would frig that up. So we're going to have a wee ops war. Now we'll event Warsaw Pact, get the full 5 ops. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It brings NATO into play, but we know he's holding socialist governments, which he has to event and repair. And Korean War, which he may have to set off. So it's an appealing time. He has to tap France, really. That's his... Because he's not likely to be able to level up country count the other way. Even eventing independent Reds now doesn't flip France. And I've got you an intervention on 5-year to repair. So I think we're looking at a coup here. Yeah, so he's given up the act. It fails. But we will take Europe scoring before he does any funny business. And we can coup on Cameroon, obviously. So he's got 5 cards left. Socialist governments, Korea, Cambridge, 5 are 3 of them. And we'll see what the remainder are. Does he have any more scoring cards is the next question. He will not, because why would he do it AR4? Fine. So we know he's not holding Asia scoring. So options, options, options. We can hold 5-year plan. But UN interventions fine out the deck. So what do we want? We get another VP by not threatening. We'll event Arab-Israeli war, which is unlikely to win. He may now event Korean war, because I've got the Milops up. So he'll go for India. Misses, but he's got his Milops. So AR6, we will pop one more in France. And we're going to hold 5-year plan in case we can ditch Africa scoring. So he's got socialist governments, which he may event and repair. Korean War, which he may now event because Milops are up. But it's still 1 in 3, which he might not. So he may space that. I don't mind if he spaces AR6, because that doesn't create a crisis. He can move into Colombia here and cause more trouble. So what do we think? Going into mid-war, I have won the battle of the early war in the early regions, but I have failed with decol and destyle. Africa's a big problem. So can I score Asia for domination is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd need to take Burma and Taiwan. Coup on Central America. So I'm only going to go over the top if I can get Central America for 1 and Asia for 8 with Milops, which seems not massively likely. But Latin American death squads doesn't look unappealing for the coup on Panama to start. And then I can use Allende to get into South America, possibly. So let's add mid-war. I've got Central America and Asia. I've got Allende. I got NATO. I got OAS. I got Lads and NORAD. NORAD's totally unplayable, given where the mixed influence is. And I've got EU. But domination in Asia looks like the place to start pressurizing. So let's headline Lads. And he's getting the coup, so that's a shame. Let's see what he pulls, more importantly. Allende. He may return that and take a 2-op coup. Poor guy. Big coup, though. So we will drop Central America scoring for 1. Because that's not going to get any better. So domination's worth another 4 VP in Asia. So I can go up to 6. Which puts me up to 18. So a successful space of NORAD will put me over the top. So special relationships dropped. I can now play NATO a bit more cleanly. Where does he go? South Africa, right. So he wants Africa control. We'll put pressure on in Asia. And see how he reacts. Because if he doesn't react immediately, we can drop Asia. If he does react, I've still got Taiwan and Burma, which are accessible. And I only need to take 1 more to be competitive in Asia. And NATO's now playable, with special relationship not coming back. So I hope to gain Asia domination And then I hope to space out NORAD to close the game. Because I've got to rush, basically. If Africa scoring drops, it's going to be the long haul. Well, at least I don't have to play OAS this turn now that he returned Allende. No hand shortening issues. So, reflip Lao. Okay. So we'll take Taiwan, and he now has to use a 3-op to flip Lao. Okay, so we're going to trade Africa for Asia. Not much of a trade in my opinion. He did much better on the deal. But at least I don't have to use the China card. So Space NORAD, Event Allende. Or drop 5-year plan for OAS and give him the north part of South America. It's either Space NORAD and 5-year plan, or Space NORAD, Event Allende, and then 5-year plan, repair OAS. He still fails to get off. We'll Space NORAD in response. We fail to get off. That's more wanting to space 5-year plan now. Unless he events one small step. He's still holding Korean War. So he's already invented Panama Canal returns. Which makes 5-year planning OAS more appealing, although of course it's worth bearing in mind. I'm going to not get Milops this turn as well. It's a bit of a bummer. So this game is going through mid-war, as I didn't get over the top this turn. Oh, I get my Milops. Pow, and another 2 VP to boot. So we will finish taking and allow him to cause shenanigans with OAS, but at least at a discount rate. He may go Haiti, Nicaragua, and realign me out of Cuba, or he may take Brazil and break Argentina, and then AR7 dominate South America. He may do something else. We shall see. 50-50 Brush War, if I get it, is on Thailand, because Southeast Asia's scoring is yet to score, and that's a 4 VP swing. So if I get Brush War, that's where I'm looking. If I get ABM, I'm looking there too. If I don't get those cards, then I'm losing the battle of the neutrality. But we'll see. And he pumps it all into Argentina. Okay. I mean, I can live with that. So that's still in the deck. South America scoring. Bit of a bummer. So I can go Cuban Missile Crisis, Muslim Revolution, push into Uruguay to threaten South America. Or I can go Brezhnev and go greedy on ops. The upshot of Cuban Missile Crisis is he has to take 2 out of West Germany, which is problematic for him to repair. So Cuban Missile Crisis or Brezhnev are the headlines, I think. Colonial Rearguards is probably the space card this turn, although Emit, if I can get it off to space, is a bonus. With Lone Gunman still in the deck. Portuguese Empire's not great as I'm realignable at the moment. I'm going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to gain enough ops to make the most of Brezhnev, I don't think. I like Cuba here. He wants the China card, which suggests he may have Yasuri to cause more damage afterwards. We'll get a coup off at some point to get Milops and force him to decide. Truman's still in the deck, so I can't get too fancy. But I'll be relatively fancy. He goes straight for the coup. He must have ABM. Oh no, he's just going for a big coup. Okay, so he covers himself. We'll drop South America for nothing. I want to event Liberation Theology. And Space Colonial Rearguard, so I'll be holding Emit. Unless I get a double space. If he spaces, I have to riposte in case he's got one small step. I need to keep tempo up. If I fail the space race, I go Colonial Emit. Ooh, he's got Brush. That's big. Thank goodness that score is gone. But that's not good for later. Alright, so we'll event Liberation Theology. We'll event Che for Milops, and we'll go Cameroon, then Uruguay. To threaten a spear on Argentina, but 6 is an awful lot of influence. If my space fails, I may get to hold Brezhnev to next turn. You never know, that might be viable. And there's always Cultural Revolution to steal back Asia. And he may forget about West Germany for a while, which would be so much the better. Although I want to see Truman go before I Ops War for it. D-Style gets space, so I riposte. He does succeed this time, so I'm hoping to get space off. Dang it! So now if he's got one small step, he gets the 2 VP space. That would suck. His pause to consider suggests he does not have it, because that is obviously the optimal play with space the way it is. So I may get another crack with a mitt. Which would be good because I can then hold Brezhnev. Ah, dang it! So now I'm holding a mitt. Well, that sucks. Che, coup. Uruguay, coup. Success in both is a pleasure. Well, that's a real bummer on space, because that takes a lot of pressure off there for him. And it is the 7th territory. With apologies to Southeast Asia. So I'm still hoping for ABM to flip Thailand, but he's holding the China card, so I'd need to ABM and then shore it up. That's unlikely. Using Brezhnev to flip Zaire to then event Portuguese Empire crumbles is probably the most sensible. He may try to realign Uruguay right now, after Che. So Southeast Asia was probably going to drop in his favour. We're going to go back to mostly parity. So my job will be retain domination and press for more. There it goes. Standard. So probably try Cameroon, but maybe Mexico or Cuba at 0 is probably best. Or Chile at 0 as well. Pow. Alright, we've got one in there. Beggars can't be choosers. We'll flip Zaire and then event Portuguese Empire crumbles and hold a mitt. If I get dealt Lone Gunman next turn, I'll event a mitt. If not, I'll space it. Ask not still to save him too. So yeah, we're going to go into mid-war parity. I basically need to try and continue to dominate Europe, which is tough in late war, Asia, which is tough with Yusuri threatening, Middle East is mostly neutral, I might want to flip Africa, but I'd say the board state is neutral with a lean to America, what with Africa the way it currently is, and South America the way it's developed. Independent Red's not removing 3 of my influence in one of my early war regions is fine. Sensible for both. Now eventing Portuguese Empire crumbles is less appealing. So we'll pop 2 back into Cuba. And we'll keep Portuguese Empire in the deck along with South Africa and rest. John Paul's still a major threat with Poland at 4 influence. And with Warsaw Pact out the deck. So I need to watch out for that. Yeah, so 2 into West Germany, 1 into West Germany, and the Wheel Line threatenment. So, Junta's good for me, Truman's good for me depending on how I control it. We Will Bury You is good in one sense because UN Intervention's gone, but it's an expensive way of getting 3 VP. So we will Junta to start, and I'm holding Lone Gunman so I can event emit turn 6 before the reshuffle. So we are going to headline Junta. Yeah, so he's pumping Asia. What else have I got? Truman Decal. Lone Gunman nuclear subs. So the old AR-7 nuclear subs isn't disgusting. So we will pop 2 into Venezuela and then crack a coup off on it to get DEFCON down. And it does succeed, which is nice. So we'll now use flower power to protect Iran. He has to use the China card to flip, which he may still do for parity. Well, he gets an extra VP for that. So actually, we'll use flower power. I mean, it probably doesn't matter at this point, but... So he has to use the China card to take Pakistan, and then it becomes a kind of realignment / Indo-Pakistani war risk for him. Although, of course, India becomes an Indo-Pakistani war risk for me, quid pro quo. So we're holding Truman. If he uses the China card to flip Pakistan, we'll use a MIT coup on Nicaragua. He gets a coup off. And it's huge. So he got ABM and Brush, I got Junta. I won't gripe. So we'll use Lone Gunman to shore up Pakistan. He can hold the China card for now. I've come out of that bit unscathed. I still want to omit coup Nicaragua, but he'd do well to realign me right now. I need to event decal this turn, obviously, to get it back in the deck for the reshuffle. Okay, so he may be signalling Southeast Asia scoring. So we'll pump Southeast Asia, because you've got ops to follow it up with. He now needs to use 3 ops to get most value. But I'm fine with him sinking ops and effort into a one-time scorer. I do need to shore up Poland, because I haven't seen John Paul yet. So some of We Will Bury You's ops may end up going in there to be cautious. So at least I get a point, but he does overdevelop there. So we're going to take the opportunity to take Algeria, which is good against... it's good against France being realigned late in, tear down this wall, and starts to redress the Africa balance. With nuclear subs, he's likely to have a crack on Zaire AR-7. So Southeast Asia scoring is likely to drop. I expect that to be in his hand. Oh, he goes for the rear line. He's got me one turn early on tempo. Hold. Oh, good. Okay. Obviously, since I've got a Nicaragua coup target, it's not so bad. Let's see what we lose. The only red cards left are Cult Rev, OPEC, South Africa Unrest. OPEC's only worth 2. South Africa Unrest is annoying. So Cult Rev is the worst to see drop, because I'd really like the China card back, especially now Yusuri and Nixon have gone. So Culture Revolution is the one card out of 20 odd, because the deck's very blue. Oh boy, Voice of America's still to come out as well. Gross. He may ditch Arms Race, maybe even Salt, because he doesn't want to see stuff get picked back up. But we'll see. Now's a good time to get rid of a Met, especially with Lone Gunman out of my hand. So yeah, Southeast Asia scoring really effectively means the scores are still neutral. So now that he's broken back on Asia, the board has swung slightly more USA. So one more in Poland. So he ditches Salt. He gets the arms race points. Well done him. So we will put one in Zaire and one in Poland. And we are going to event nuclear subs since CIA is gone. But we're going to pop the... Well, he's got Southeast Asia. So US into the lead. Neatly played. So we're going to pop 2 into Iraq for OPEC points, which we expect are coming, and he can have a free crack at somewhere. And we hold Truman. Zaire is the obvious place for him to have a pop. So, yeah, he's going to have it. Doesn't do enough. Put just enough ops juice in there. Ready for a blue deal? Okay, I get Cult Rev. South America, get VOA, which is a bonus. Could gamble on Missile Envy, but he's holding Duck and Cover. So he's got OPEC and South Africa Unrest. Did I draw Summit as well? I did. I drew Bear Trap, which is good. Don't like that being evented on me. Puppet, Voice. So he has got John Paul. So I'm holding, you can see. I believe he's holding Ask Not, OPEC, Duck and Cover, John Paul, South Africa Unrest, Kitchen Debates. I got... I don't add Late War. Dar. It helps when I don't completely shaft up. South African Unrest. Not in my hand, in his hand. It's almost like I can't use this. Alright, and then I also picked up Che in the reshuffle, along with South America scoring. So I can gamble on Missile Envy, although he may headline Duck and Cover. But at this point, with the board the way it is, gambling's not terrible, and it's really only We Will Bury You that would have had to have been reshuffled that causes the most trouble. Culture Revolution's the blandest headline. Let's gamble and use Missile Envy. I don't know if I use it enough. It'll be fun anyway. Oh, nice. So now he can... Oh no, Missile Envy doesn't trigger Duck and Cover. Ah, so he now sees I have South America scoring, which might change his mind. He will be returning it. So he may return it and coup on Zaire. He may return it and pop 1 in Colombia or 2 in Uruguay. Also wouldn't be a shabby play, knowing I held South America scoring. But let's see what happens. If he coups and gives me We Will Bury You, the game's over anyway. So we're holding Bear Trap this turn. So the prime objective in Europe is to event Truman Doctrine after I've reshored Austria and Yugoslavia. Okay, so he goes straight for domination. He gives me OPEC for the 3VP. So what's our coup? I think we're going to coup Culture Revolution on Nigeria and hope for a sassy Che event. But we want to get our shenanigans happening. It means I'm not getting the China card back on the cheap, which is a bit of a bummer. I feel like the game's starting to drift away a little bit. I need to space VOA and hold Bear Trap. So I also need to put some ops into Europe. And I may at this point be giving up South America for domination. Che doesn't have a cheap target either at the moment, which is a bit frustrating. Let's see what he does. Okay, neither of those are critical realignment issues at the moment. And now I have a cheap target. We will coup here. And now we'll coup Uruguay. Big coup. No, rubbish coup. Okay, South America's been given up for domination. So we'll use puppet governments for the ops. Space VOA, hold Bear Trap, and use Truman. Special relationships back in the deck as well. We're likely to use that summit op in Zaire just to make sure I don't get completely boxed out of Africa. Because obviously what we don't want is a domination flip. Even if I'm denied domination, it's a damn sight better than seeing it turn blue. He's got you an intervention, so he's going to ditch some horrible card. D-style class. Alright. Africa is not dropping for me, but at least I can try and avoid it dropping for him. And he's got South Africa on rest, so I can still cause trouble with that, hopefully. He gets it away in his headline peaking. We're going to give him South America scoring. I can't do anything about that. So he's got John Paul, Kitchen Debates, Ask Not, and Duck and Cover. Kitchen Debates isn't triggering. Small Mercies. So I expect him to hold Ask Not for late war. So he'll event John Paul. We're going to use puppet governments and go one into Austria or Yugoslavia, one into Peru to prevent him putting one in Peru and threatening the realign on Chile. If we just let him walk into Chile, he can then clear me out of South America for final scoring, if we make it that far. He may win with war games. Duck and Cover ops. Fine, fine, fine. So we will go Yugoslavia and Peru. I expect to see him event John Paul. Double clicking on that map's such a stupid UX, but there you go. So the one Truman will go into Austria and we'll space VOA. So yeah, the game's definitely leaning America now. Late war's coming. I'm really hoping for what? A race to get to war games, which is now not likely. US4. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I suppose I can try and effect domination in Central America, Africa, and Middle East with some effort. Asia with a bit more effort because he's holding the China card, and to keep the pressure up in Europe. But USSR is never likely to win in final. And now he's got, obviously, a lot going on there. So Mexico, one pop. And he gets it. So now Central America is not being dominated, but we at least get Truman out the deck. He's likely to event John Paul. I guess he played you an intervention, so he does actually have to play Ask Not or the China card. So depending on the scoring card I get turn 8, the coup can either be Libya or Panama. Yeah, that's standard, fine. I space VOA. And I fail, so I'm getting peeked at. He may use Ask Not to break Poland here to put pressure on in Europe. That doesn't look like the bad AR7 crisis. He may use the China card to put it up to 4-4. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So at least I get Africa scoring. And he's going to be looking at what I've got. That's the thing I need to remember. Reagan's not worth anything at the moment, which is fine. How I learned. CRG goes to space. So, the issue, I guess, is the risk of being defected. Getting defected with decall sucks. How I learned to drop decall with ABM as well is probably alright. That drops DEFCON. I still get an ABM coup at some point. I can repair Poland, as long as he doesn't play Solidarity. And that's better than being defected. I want to event decall. That's the big kicker. I do want to event decall. So as long as he doesn't headline Solidarity, I can retake Poland. And then I can begin setting up Africa, ideally. So he's going to get a coup off first. Okay. We're still going to keep DEFCON at 2. We're going to use an even empire to retake Poland. And then we're going to event decall. If he coups Nicaragua, I coup Haiti. He'll be holding off putting influence into Cuba because of Ortega. Although, of course, now Central America plus War Games wins it for him. So if he drops a scoring card or spaces, that leaves me in a bind. Miss, miss, miss. Good. So, we will event decall. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to leave him guessing Asia or Africa. He can repair both, of course. So it is a moot point. We're going to be loath to drop the China card too quickly because obviously Aldrich plus Lone Gunman is another potential DEFCON suicide outlet. Okay. So we will take the initial coup on Saharan states, which does barely enough. I would have loved to have used ABM on Panama, but I may be forced to use it on Angola, because I expect he'll counter-coup Sudan here. And it's huge. That's not triggering. So we're going to use it on Angola. It is at least guaranteed to win. He's likely to move to Indonesia, Ethiopia, or Saharan states, or both. Oh. He's instead threatening Central America. So we're first going to put the coup in on Haiti, because we don't want to give everything away. But that may screw us up tempo-wise. I'm hoping that delays him on Africa. He may take a counter coup on Haiti. Although the better percentage move is Africa, I guess. Because now cooing on Haiti is less likely. But I don't think I could afford to leave Cuba at +2. So we'll see. Hopefully he coups Haiti and whiffs. No, he's too smart for that. Okay, Africa drops to 1. Oh, 3. Yeah, because of the country count swing. And I space colonial rear guards. AR7. With him ahead as well, Star Wars is a problem. I think Defcon's still my best route to victory, but it's getting dicey. His clock's starting to give him a bit of pressure because it's a 1 hour, so there is at least that going for it. Oh, well, War Games is gone. Thank goodness for small favours. Yeah, saw that coming. So now there's a crisis. Event Colonial Rear Guards. Which really only shores up. It means it's harder to flip Asia. But I think I'm going to give it, because it doesn't flip anywhere in Africa. Alright, we'll give it to him. Not happy about it, but I'm doing it. So we now no longer know what the enemy is holding. He's got 2 cards. I know that much. He'll probably Aldrich away Europe scoring here. and then I really am sunk. So what are our hopes? Get a coup off on Libya for domination in the Middle East. Get a coup off on Panama and shore up Cuba. Maintain Europe domination, difficult if not impossible in late war for USSR. Try and maintain a stable balance and hope he can't do too much turn 10 AR7, because he's likely to win in final. That's where I'm at. Alternatively, yeah, brilliant. Europe scoring. Or lone gunman. Oh, Muslim Rev, okay, could be worse. So, Aldrich away, Muslim Rev. Terrorism in Iran is now my best hope. We'll try quagmiring him. He'll know it's coming, so he can use defectors. I may try and hold a wrong contra to turn 10. Although, of course, doing it that way round, it doesn't prevent NORAD, does it? And a failure. Well, I've completely shafted that up, haven't I? Splendid. And he's out. Bada bing, bada boom. Right, I'm in all sorts of trouble now. Alright, we're going to give up the China card and maintain pressure in Europe, but it's now dropping for nothing. Oh, this has all gone completely pear-shaped. What am I missing? Bear Trap, Central America, Iran Contra. Asia. Arms race. Which at least I can try and score for 3. Oh, we're going to have a bloody ops war in Poland. Everything is ruined. Right, we're going to pop 1 into Cuba for 2 VP there, and we're going to put 1 into Poland. Ugh. Right, with him going, he's got the China card. I put Quagmire around before NORADs. Aldrich is gone, so I see no way of winning at this point. So that's a delight. We'll drop Central for 2. We're going to have to space Special Relationship. Oh, or I can use Special Relationship to break the UK, in fact, and then I can space Bear Trap. We'll event Arms Race for the Veeps, as long as he doesn't get a coup off right now. Ah, yes, of course. Very wise, very wise. So Arms Race first. Space Bear Trap, ping Special Relationship, score Asia, headline Iran Contra turn 10, and pray to the Soviet gods. Well, that's a small mercy. That at least means the Reformer does some serious damage if he doesn't get his Veeps up. But I think I've got too much to do turn 10 here. Whoop. Oh, I lost an AR as well. Fantastic. I really can't be trusted to do anything these games. Oh yeah, I played the China card, didn't I? What a dumbass. Alright, Chernobyl's RAR7. Iran-Contra has to be the headline here. We can't have him doing all sorts of shenanigans. So we've got Tear and we've got Cal. Ortega Sadat. Salt and Lads. I didn't get the Reformer, so I'm a bit shagged out in Europe. Ha! Yeah, well. Fair dues, son. Fair dues. Fair dues. Oh my goodness, there's so much he can do. I really, really shafted that up. One, two, three, space, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so I can still take a coup this turn, but only one. And I'm still going to end up in the same situation. Yeah, fine. Let's get rid of Cal. Right, so I'm going to lose in final scoring. Because there is absolutely no way I can flip Asia. So I can't get a region other than Africa for domination, and I'm not going to be able to stop Central America being dominated. So yeah, I am toast. Oh, well, let me know if I could have done anything different at some point. I think I shafted up the Quagmire-NORAD interaction. But I think the game was mostly out of reach by then anyway. So, we will see. Straight flip in Africa. Oh no. Continue to dominate areas of Europe. Fine. We will tap the UK. But, you know, this is shuffling deck chairs. Right? Because South America and Central America scores more than Asia and Africa minor gains. Even if I keep tapping. So, yeah, I'm boned. He doesn't need to think so much. He can just rush through this because I'm toast. We'll just keep loading ops into Europe to keep rebalancing and hope to crack a coup off on Saharan states at some point. But it's all for nothing. Yeah. Bugger it. And that doesn't even flip domination. I'll need to take another coup on Africa to get there. So well played, Brashers. Good pressure. I really need to get over the top in turn 4, and when Africa scoring dropped, a lot of my outs faded. So that was rather a bummer, but you don't get to 1,000,000 games on Playdeck without some disappointment. And I've got even more disappointment in store, because in a few hours I'll be playing Ziemowit. So enjoy that one. I'm sure I will. Last time I did take him right up to turn 10 AR7 when he won on the VP tracker, and I couldn't quite control Europe in time. So he's going to have a crack. Small mercies. We'll have a coup on Ethiopia. It succeeds, so I do get sweet, sweet Africa domination karma. So AR6 will tap Portugal, AR7 will double tap Poland. He's got the China card, so he can retake Euro domination anyway. And his dominations beat my dominations, so good game, good game. He can also deny me presence in South America, of course. I should probably shore up against that. Just to stop embarrassing myself even more than I currently am. He has so many turn 10 AR7 options, it's not even funny. I don't even know why we're trying. Ah! One, two, three, four, five, six. Playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So why not the boring play into Ivory Coast? So AR7 will cover Zaire and tap Poland, and then his turn 10 AR7 is retake Poland, tap South America to deny me presence. So we'll stop him flipping Africa. But there goes your ball game. Thanks for watching. Do comment. See if I could have redressed the balance anywhere. My sense is that I didn't make any sufficiently stupid errors to affect the outcome of this game. But I'm always open to people pointing out how stupid I am, because it keeps me grounded. But yeah, his best turn 10 AR7 is Poland tap Chile to deny me presence. In my opinion. Yep. He's no idiot. So 11 VPM final scoring. Fair. Alright, thanks for watching. Do comment away.